That down. Let's move on to our next topic here, shall we? Paris, what do we got up next?
We've got Blade news.
Woo!
Oh, boy.
Ray's happy.
Well, no, not that it has a director yet, or a writer, or an updated release date.
Oh, no.
But
It has our heart, though.
it has a heart and excitement. But we do know that the film will, in fact, be rated R. So Marvel head Kevin Feige was recently asked about the status of Blade, to which he said they're still working on getting the story right. But he also indicated that it most likely the film would indeed be rated R, as many fans had hoped to hear. So, John, what do you think about Blade now being confirmed to be rated R?
I think it's predictable, but it is, people need to recognize, a complete 180 that Kevin Feige has done. Because you remember a year or two ago, somebody was asking, like after they announced the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali, there was this famous interview that he did, and somebody asked him, what are the chances of Blade being rated R? And Kevin Feige shot it down. He said, Deadpool is going to be an exception, because we still didn't really know what was happening with Deadpool at that time. He said, Deadpool will be an exception to that because it's Deadpool and all that kind of stuff. But no, Marvel is going to remain PG-13 and all that kind of stuff. So he basically had shot it down. Now, there had been some comments made and stuff like that in recent months about the possibility of being rated R. But this is the first time that Feige himself has kind of stepped up and said, yeah, this thing's going to be rated R. Now, he said this. When asked about the possibility of it being rated R, Kevin Feige said, and this comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, says, I think that's right, Feige replied. I mean, for the last 2 years, we've been trying to crack that movie. The most important thing for us is not rushing it and making sure that we are making the right Blade movie. He continued, because there were some great Blade movies years ago, they were all rated R. So I think that's, like Deadpool, inherent with the character of Blade. All right. So I think a lot of fans are going to like hearing that because that's what the other Blade movies are. For the record, I don't think a Blade movie has to be rated R, because in movies, you can do a lot of horrible violence on robots, aliens, and monsters and not get an R rating. You can decapitate them. You can do all sorts of terrible, terrible things to robots, aliens, and monsters and still get away with the PG-13. So because of that, I thought you could get away with doing a good Blade movie. That's PG-13. But as Kevin Feige pointed out, this is its natural home. It's its natural habitat to be rated R. So I think that's going to make a lot of people happy. I don't think it's going to surprise a lot of people, but it's nice hearing Kevin Feige himself come out and state this after years earlier saying that no, it wouldn't be rated R. The one thing, though, that I want to push back on Kevin Feige a little bit for is, let's go back to that first paragraph. When I said, I think that's right, I mean, for the last 2 years, we've been trying to crack that movie. The most important thing for us is not rushing it and making sure we're making the right Blade movie. Okay, that's good. That's good. But the Kevin Feige we know always made sure they had their movie before they announced it. I'm not saying they've made the movie. I'm saying Kevin Feige that we know always knew what his movie was going to be before getting on stage at a D23 or a special presentation or a Comic-Con Hall H and then announcing that movie. It is not in the nature of the Kevin Feige we know to get on stage and say, we're making this movie. And what's it going to be about? We don't know yet, but we're making it. Fabulous. This highlights, I mean, listen, Kevin Feige has made like 30 plus films with the MCU. In the midst of all that, you're going to make some mistakes here and there, but this is one of those mistakes. They never should have done that. I mean, I think it's become obvious now that we're 5 years later and still no signs of a Blade movie. We're 5 years since Kevin Feige brought Mahershala Ali on stage at Comic-Con and announced, we're doing a Blade movie, everybody. Woo!
Yeah, to your point, I had just read an article this weekend. It was an interview that Feige was talking about, and everyone was like losing their mind about, Nova, he confirms Nova. And he said, yes, we're developing Nova, but what we're doing that's different at Marvel is we're acting more like a typical studio. We are developing a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff may never see a screen.
Yeah, and then there's a difference between something being developed and something being greenlit.
And before, it was like, well, we're developing, we got to announce and release it. And now they're like, let's develop it first. People can know we're developing it. We'll just be like, it might come out, it might not. We're just developing these things right now. So
Right.
they're being a little more practical.
Yeah, because that's a big difference.
Yep.
From saying, guys, we are doing Blade and we've got our Blade Mahershala Ali and bringing him out on stage. So yeah, I do want to push back. So okay, it's great. It's going to be rated R. But as Paris pointed out, we still don't have a director. We still don't have an official writer. We still don't have a release date. John, it says November 2025. It's not going to make a November 20. They don't even have a director right now. This movie's not making a November 2025 release date. So now we may get all of those answers on Saturday night when Marvel does their Hall H Comic-Con panel this Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ray and I will be doing a live stream from here in the studio with a couple of friends that we've got who are going to be in Hall H and posting out up to the second news of what's being announced on the stage. And we're going to go over all of it with you guys. So you guys should come and join me and Ray.
Was that Saturday, you said?
On Saturday evening. Yeah. Maybe I'll talk Jonathan to coming in and joining us for that too.
Well, I don't know.
So, I mean, so maybe all those answers but it is at least something. It's a morsel. It's a symbolic goodwill gesture.
Yeah.
Say we may not have a Blade movie, but when we do have one, it's going to be rated R. And maybe it'll still have Mahershala Ali. Guys, seriously, I think there's a chance one of the things that gets announced on Saturday is a new Blade.
Yeah,
No.
Jonathan.
Do you
Wouldn't
have
you wanna
any
be here
thoughts
for that, Jonathan?
of who it could be?
No, like
This hurts my heart when you say this.
I mean, I know. I want it to be Mahershala Ali so bad, but I have no insight. By the way, just to be clear, I have nobody telling me that it's not going to be Mahershala Ali. Likely it will still be Mahershala Ali, but I fear that we're going to find out that he's had to move on. Again, there have been a few names that we threw around here the other day, like John David Washington. I think would be a really interesting. I think he'd be a really, really interesting choice. There's a few others. Hell
Would it be
brings.
Aldous Hodge?
What's that?
Would he be Aldous Hodge?
I mean, Aldous Hodge would be great. First of all, that dude is a brick fucking house.
Yeah, he's a giant.
He is a giant, chiseled monster of a man. And he would be a very intimidating screen presence.
Loved him as Hawkeye. Loved him as Hawkman. So.
He was great as Haunted Autumn in the live chat is a great pick, of course. Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, you know what? That would be my
Paul
second
Walter
choice.
Hauser is Blade.
That's my second choice.
Or Chris Pratt. Because
Well,
Chris
actually,
Pratt is doing
what
everything
what
right
is
now.
Blade's like not sidekick, but his man in the chair, like the older dude or whatever?
Whistler.
He could play like a younger Whistler or something like that. They could rewrite that.
Paul Walter Hauser?
Yeah.
Somebody came up as a Whistler. Somebody put up a name as a Whistler earlier,
yeah.
and I lost my mind over it. I thought it was great, and now I can't remember.
I forgot to.
I can't remember who on earth it was. But anyway, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Kevin Feige's done a big spin around on this. He's now saying, yes, Blade will be rated R. Not that we have a Blade or a writer or a
Or footage.
director or a release date. But hey, when we do get one, it should be rated R. Maybe we'll find out a lot more about it on Saturday. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.